Hi everyone, today you'll experience the incredible power of one of nature's most mysterious phenomena. From breathtaking light displays in the night sky to truly terrifying and destructive aftermaths. Welcome to a journey filled with rare footage and fascinating facts about lightning. Let's dive in.
Wait for me! Oh wow, it's pretty rocky here, huh? Wait for me!
The guy seems cautious and aware of the dangers of being in open areas near water during a lightning storm, while the fearless girl appears to trust in facts or perhaps feels less concerned about the risks. This boy went to the store during a rainstorm thinking an umbrella would keep him dry, but he definitely wasn't prepared for what happened next. The poor guy shrank in terror when lightning struck just a meter away from him. Now he knows that carrying an umbrella in a storm isn't the safest idea. Thankfully, he was only frightened and not harmed. A group of friends planned a weekend trip to Canada, but a storm hit suddenly. The group managed to find shelter in a cabin, but this one friend turned out to be the luckiest of them all. Their reaction speaks volumes. Anyone would be shocked to witness something like that. Lightning struck and shattered the tree just seconds after their friend had walked by it. Can you imagine being just a few meters away from a lightning strike? It's safe to say the feeling wouldn't be pleasant. This guy said his ears were ringing for 3 days afterward. A couple and their son in Vermont decided to have a little camping trip, oddly enough in their own backyard. They picked probably the worst possible time for it. Thankfully, everything turned out okay, and after the first lightning strike, the family moved inside. They got the strike on video, but you can imagine their horror when they returned to the tent after the storm and saw the aftermath. Crazy summer storm during heat wave, Great North Woods, New Hampshire. Myself watching storm roll over us inside my home. This footage was captured by two storm chasers. They were tracking a tornado when suddenly one of their vehicles was struck by lightning. Don't worry, the driver's okay. You might think it's all because of the rubber tires being excellent insulators, but that's not entirely true. It's actually the car's body. See those sparks on the road after a crash? It's because metal is an excellent conductor. Electricity flows through the body and into the ground. That's why experts recommend not getting out of your car or touching its parts if you're caught in a thunderstorm on the road. 3 guys were sitting in a garage in Thailand during a storm. One of them reached for a wrench to hang it on a nail and suddenly boom! It felt as if the lightning was a predator waiting for the right moment to strike when the guy touched the hook on the pole. Thankfully, he escaped with only a scare and a couple of minor burns, but the experience will likely stay with him forever. Lightning is an utterly unpredictable phenomenon that can strike anything, anywhere, at any time. In Western England, a lightning strike was so powerful that it tore through the roofs and floors, leaving huge holes in 2 houses. Imagine there wasn't even any electricity in either house that day. It's terrifying to think how powerful nature can be. It's remarkable how unpredictable lightning can be. It struck a lamppost near a gas station in a city in Brazil, despite many structures around that could have attracted it like lightning rods. It's astounding that none of the passing cars were struck. Judging by all those sparks, I would imagine a few nearby buildings lost power. Occasionally, lightning displays its immense power not just by disrupting critical infrastructure or cutting off electricity and internet in a neighborhood, but by causing physical destruction. The chimney, likely sturdy in construction, fell victim to the storm's wrath, effortlessly striking and shattering its top into fragments of stone. During dinner, my boyfriend spotted some lightning, so we all rushed outside to see. Water attracts lightning because it's an excellent conductor of electricity, which means that objects around it are also at risk. When lightning hits water directly, the shock wave spreads around the body of water for about 100 meters, often affecting the nearby shores. That laughter sounds more like hysterical laughter. The guy off camera realizes how fortunate they are to be in a relatively safe place at that moment. Imagine being caught off guard by a storm while enjoying a stroll right out in the open sea. Terrifying. Planes at Atlanta Airport were awaiting inspection before their next takeoff while a storm raged in the sky. It was likely just a matter of time and chance, but one of them was bound to be struck by lightning. The Delta Airlines plane ended up being the one. We don't know exactly how the plane handled the sudden strike, but it was probably fine. After all, planes are designed to handle this sort of thing. Aircraft designers put a lot of effort into ensuring lightning protection, but it's impossible to guarantee that an aircraft won't be struck. Pilots know the best way to avoid lightning is to fly around storms, but sometimes even that isn't enough. The plane hadn't even reached cruising altitude when a powerful lightning bolt struck it right in the fuselage. Surprisingly, this isn't that uncommon. Statistics show that one lightning strike occurs for every 2,500 to 3,000 flight hours, meaning hundreds of planes get struck by lightning every year. Flying can be quite stressful for many, and seeing this through the window is probably the last thing you want. Inside the cabin, it might just feel like a thud. After that, I bet the poor driver didn't drive again for at least another 6 months. There's no doubt that everyone stuck in that traffic jam wanted to rush home at full speed. Thankfully, despite the shock, everyone stayed in their vehicles.
Охереть, а куда она?
Всю машину.
Imagine this. You've saved enough for a fancy cruise on a luxury liner about to set off on your adventure, and suddenly you see this. Thankfully, neither the people nor the ship suffered any major damage. They extinguished the fire, but they definitely had to put their cruise dream on hold for a while. When lightning strikes, most of the bolts travel along the surface and disperse over distance. Luckily, fish swim beneath the surface, but if they suddenly decided to stick their heads out of the water, they'd get fried instantly. However, scientists still can't pinpoint exactly how far lightning can travel underwater. For instance, these divers were at a depth of 6 meters. It probably happened because they were handling metal disc brakes while they were busy with the cable setup. The guys are fine, but it's good to remember that during a thunderstorm, there's always a risk, no matter where you are. This carrier rocket was struck by lightning 10 seconds after liftoff. It seemed like the strike could have fried all the systems inside the spacecraft. However, thanks to the engineers' careful planning, the satellite was successfully placed into orbit. Lightning bolts flashed across the sky at sunset during a storm in Florida. A thick blanket of tumultuous rain clouds rolled across the expansive skyscape. They were accompanied by heavy rain. In Texas, a wind turbine caught fire after being hit by lightning. As the turbine kept spinning, it created an intriguing spiral of smoke in the sky. The fire quickly spread to the nearby blades, causing them to melt from the intense heat, and parts of the structure began to fall. But don't assume turbines are rendered useless after one lightning strike. Blades can typically endure around 20 hits over their lifespan. While watching a storm can be quite enjoyable, sometimes nature puts on a display that outshines everything else. Even the sports fans couldn't contain their excitement when the lightning appeared. It was as if Mother Nature decided to give them a little show during the breaks to keep them entertained. The person who filmed this video initially thought it would be exciting to capture the striking lightning flashes during a storm, but he quickly regretted it moments later. A man stepped onto the balcony of his hotel room with his phone when suddenly a powerful bolt of lightning struck just a meter away. Startled by how close he had come to millions of volts of pure electrical energy, he quickly scrambled back inside. While warm tropical rain can be pleasant, it becomes much less enjoyable when accompanied by stormy winds and powerful lightning strikes. These three friends vacationing on the Malaysian coast were very fortunate, as the beach is one of the most dangerous places to be during a storm. Some locals were watching the rain from their house during a thunderstorm. They heard some noises and decided to capture them. Then they witnessed an amazing lightning bolt in the dark that changed colors as it struck. A lightning bolt can carry a current of up to 200,000 amps and a voltage reaching 1 billion volts. This immense power can destroy any device in milliseconds. Even though transformers have emergency shut-off systems, the risk is still too high. If action is not taken promptly, the tree will become fully engulfed in flames, and all we can do is wait for it to burn down completely.
Move, Dave, move!
Some trees can crumble like sandy sculptures from a single lightning strike. Just imagine the sheer power involved. When lightning strikes a tree forcefully enough, it can split the tree apart as if it were bursting from within. This sudden impact instantly strips away the bark, leaving the trunk completely exposed.
True. That hits so.
It fractures into pieces because the moisture along the path of the lightning strike rapidly evaporates and expands. Lightning can generate temperatures inside a tree exceeding 30,000 degrees Celsius, 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. This intense heat frequently causes trees to catch fire after being struck by lightning. During the early moments of the storm, when the rain came down in sheets and the rumble of thunder was still a good distance away, I walked out onto my balcony to take it all in. Max, my kitty cat, cautiously joined me. Workers were going about their usual business, disregarding the rain and the ominous dark clouds overhead. creature was poised to demonstrate how even a light rain could unleash destructive force. The lightning strike was so abrupt and nearby that the man collapsed to the ground as if struck by a shockwave. In reality, he simply fell from the shock and fear. Fortunately, he escaped unscathed, but now he has quite a tale to tell. It's astonishing, but 90% of people survive after being struck by lightning. This fisherman was fortunate to join that lucky majority. They say a lightning strike can affect breathing or hearing, but he truly dodged a bullet. He bounced back swiftly with no lasting effects, aside from the initial shock. Neither he nor his buddies could believe it had happened. This couple found themselves uncomfortably close to a severe weather phenomenon while relaxing on a beach in Mexico. Wisely, they decided to leave the water just in time because a few minutes later, something like this occurred.
We're swimming in the
Some
rain.
people think swimming during a thunderstorm is a great idea. It goes without saying that it's definitely not the safest choice.
Oh my God, that's my ball, bingo!
They were fortunate to be in a boat because swimming anywhere outside of a bathtub during a storm is clearly not a wise decision. These captivating shots were filmed on a road in South Africa, where sparkling beams illuminated the night sky directly above the road as the person recorded this video while driving. Undoubtedly, they must feel quite uneasy knowing that Mother Nature could strike their car at any moment. Seeing lightning nearby is always frightening, even if you're in a car and can quickly drive away to escape the storm. However, when you're so close, staying calm becomes nearly impossible. During a storm, large vehicles like this one on the road are at the greatest risk. Lightning strikes without hesitation and can hit them directly. It's widely believed that predicting exactly where lightning will strike is nearly impossible. And here's further evidence of just how unpredictable it can be.
Maat, er valt een boom kanker op, echt vlak voor mijn kankerneus.
A man noticed a thunderstorm forming outside and went into his yard with a camera, hoping to capture some stunning lightning bolts in the night sky. Little did he realize he would end up capturing even more remarkable footage. Following the storm, locals observed that one of the trees was smoldering from the inside. This is a common occurrence when lightning strikes a tree, particularly if its trunk is exceptionally dry. In such instances, the only effective way to extinguish the fire is to fell the tree. A man and his Great Dane was filming the rain. Then the lightning hit my tree, jumped over to my porch, traveled around me in Dallas, broke a window, and burned wires in my home. From a young age, we're cautioned against seeking shelter under trees during storms, and there's a good reason for that. Nature can be incredibly awe-inspiring, often prompting us to wonder if it communicates with us in its own unique way. One man from Minnesota experienced this firsthand while driving past a church on his way home. He described the moment as unforgettable, noting that although the church had some minor electrical issues, the lightning rod ensured the building remained largely unscathed. It's a chilling experience when a massive electric discharge strikes just behind you. He certainly knows that firsthand. The likelihood of being struck by lightning is 1 in 13,000 over an 80-year lifespan. However, in that moment, the poor girl must have felt as though the odds were much greater. Some individuals deliberately listen to thunderstorm sounds to unwind, finding that the rumble of thunder can alleviate stress. Nevertheless, its soothing effects are not universally consistent. Thunder results from the explosive wave created when lightning heats the air, causing a rapid increase in pressure along its path. By counting 3 seconds between a lightning flash and the subsequent thunder, you can gauge that the storm is roughly a kilometer away. This trick serves as a useful method to determine the distance of an approaching storm. The most perilous moment is when thunder immediately follows lightning, as in this case. The sound level can reach up to 120 dB. To put it into perspective, the pain threshold is around 130 dB.
I got 2 really scared kitties.
She was filming as the storm over Sydney became more violent. Lightning bolts were hitting very close all around before one hit the building just a few feet away. She and her cat ducked for cover, swearing like a docker. It took her an hour to find him wedged between the wall and a chest of drawers. Part of the chimney air vent just next to her was blown away, which sent bricks flying but was still standing. A job for the insurers to sort out.
Okay, that was definitely in my neighborhood. Oh, holy crap. That was above the house. Okay. I think I better go inside. Holy cow. Wow, I'm right there.
Negatively charged high-amp lightning bolts carrying a strong negative charge, accompanied by deafening explosive thunder. Big thunderstorm in Malaysia. Tropical thunderstorms usually aren't severe, but for some reason they often produce a ton of cloud-to-ground, CG lightning. It might just be the sheer amount of water in the cloud from the super oppressive humidity associated with the warm equatorial waters, rather than the speed of the updraft, which is probably slower than that of a mid-latitude severe storm. Every flicker, flash on the iPhone is lightning. Most were off camera, but the frequency was astonishing. Continuous rumbling and lightning strikes. This is what it looks like when lightning strikes nearby. Please be mindful of the volume. Since it happens so quickly, I have also included a slow-motion replay. Additionally, you can see a thin discharge to the left of the second lightning strike. Upon checking, it seems to have hit the utility pole on the left and the street light on the pole had gone out. Since it was a recently replaced LED type,
Mercy, it is a crackling down on us out here and pay. Just give it a second.
tall buildings act like magnets for lightning strikes. Storms often target skyscrapers, especially those that rise above the rest of the buildings, their spires almost piercing through the clouds. Residents of Mecca in Saudi Arabia witnessed a mesmerizing moment when lightning struck the world's largest clock tower during a thunderstorm. The spectacle was so extraordinary that it resembled a scene from a movie rather than real-life footage. Despite lightning typically targeting the tallest objects in an area, it's paradoxical that lightning bolts capable of reaching voltages up to 1,000,000 volts do not instantly energize power lines. Rather, they swiftly disable them. That's why lightning rods are set up on houses. They effectively divert lightning strikes away from other structures. Did you know the immense energy of a lightning flash can be as bright as 100 million electric light bulbs? Keep in mind that lightning typically follows the path of least resistance. Tall objects situated close to cumulus clouds have a higher probability of being struck. This is why lightning rods, street lamps, and wind turbines are frequently targeted. Interesting fact. One of the most frequent insurance claims filed by wind turbine owners is due to damage from lightning strikes. Imagine the awe on the faces of everyone who witnessed it happen. It's not something you see every day. Who doesn't love lounging in the water during rain? It's especially warm and pleasant during those moments. Of course, there are a few precautions to remember. An object doesn't have to be moving on water to be struck by lightning. Sometimes even a moored boat can be at risk. From observing this cloud, it's obvious that there will be a substantial need for repairs and some time to restore things to their usual state. By the way, here's why they advise against leaving a car during lightning strikes. When those individuals decided to step outside, the charge struck the open metal door, leading to this outcome.
Looking.